All right, we're talking about Psalm 119 and verse 14. It says, "You are my hiding place and my shield. I hope in your word." You, Lord, are my hiding place and my shield. I hope in your word. You know, I was reading that this morning early, and then I went on a walk with my dogs, and I was meditating on that, thinking about that, saying that back to the Lord a lot, trying to memorize that. And it started out in my mind when I read it this morning. It's just a simple verse. It's just, you are my hiding place and my shield. I hope in your word. It doesn't seem like there's a lot to that. But the longer you think about it, the more you meditate on that, man, it's like that's everything in life. To us as people, we hide, number one. We hide, and we need protection, number two, a shield. And we need to hope. Man, those are like the basic food groups of life, And people hide, if you think about it, we hide in all kinds of stuff. We hide in drugs, we hide in alcohol, we hide in, some people hide in the P word, some people hide in other vices, some people hide in fitness or what their body looks like, some people hide in food, some people hide in money. There's all kinds of things that we retreat into in this life. Why? Why do we do that? Because we're in pain. We all have pain. You'll live long enough in this life and you're going to realize, man, this life is full of pain. And it's a game, right? It's this game of hiding from the pain in life. The psalmist says, Lord, you are my hiding place. This morning I began to realize, man, that's wise. When we run from the pain of life, where do we go? It's wise to run into God, run into his word, read about what he says, what is on the mind of God. The Bible is like, God's thoughts downloaded onto paper. They can heal your pain. The psalmist says, you are my shield. God, you are my hiding place and you are my shield. And I thought of, gladiators going into battle. They never go without a shield because they're in battle. They need protection, and life is like that. In this life, it's often like a battle. Every day can seem like a battle sometimes. We go through seasons of fighting in this life, fighting different pains and problems, right? And so we need a shield, right? You fall asleep sometimes just worried, or you fall asleep just crying, or you fall asleep just concerned about your life and the battles that are going on. And so you need protection, you need a shield. And the psalmist is saying, Lord, you are my shield. Lord, you are my protection in this life. I hide behind you, Lord, and you protect me. The Lord takes the arrows, so to speak, of life. The Lord takes the bullets, right? And they bounce off of him like a shield. If we are hiding in him. For the Christian, that's a recipe for success. Hide in the Lord when you have pain. Hide behind the shield of the Lord when you're in battle. And finally, the psalmist says, Lord, I hope in your word. And there's that involves every human being. We all have hope. We're all putting our hope in something or in some things. We're all dreaming and we have hope for this and hope for that. And oftentimes those don't ever materialize. Oftentimes our hopes in this life are dashed. We spend our lives in the pain of dashed hope, right? So I just want to encourage you today, if you're hearing me out there, here's a word for you. Put your hope in God's word. Why? Well, because God's word is full of promises. It's full of what's to come. It's in God's word that he reveals the past. He reveals the present for you and reveals the future to come. And in God's word, we see that there is a future to come for the Christian. It's a wonderful future. God's future is full of hope. It's the most hopeful place I've ever seen. In this life, I've lived long enough to see that there's very little hope in this world without God. There's no hope in this world without God. Lord, you are my hiding place. Lord, you are my shield. Lord, in your word, I put my hope. All right. Until we meet again, my friend, go and do the next right thing.